I chose happiness. It was back in 2012 when I was lying in the male's quarters, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in one of the busiest hospital in Cebu, Philippines, when I said to myself, I choose happiness. That moment became the most significant turning point in my life. I was in deep depression. It was my rock bottom. All the signs and symptoms of depression manifested in me. I know this because I am a doctor. I had suicidal thoughts because death seemed to be a great escape from all the burden and misery surrounding me. Negative thoughts occupied my mind most of the time, and I always heard myself saying that I am not good enough. Sometimes, I would stare blankly during a meal and my wife would snap me out of my daydream and she would ask if I was alright and I would lie saying yes, I'm fine. She knows that I'm stressed with work, but she didn't know how depressed I was. It was not always like this. I was a cheerful person. I got sad sometimes because of the normal hiccups in life, but never this miserable. After the medical board exams, I immediately went into general surgery training. The start of the residency training was going quite well. I was getting along with my colleagues and I loved reading my books, and eventually I got high scores. In the middle of my residency training, I got interested in plastic surgery. I then learned that another government hospital in my place was going to open a plastic surgery department. I transferred to the other hospital when I got accepted in the plastic surgery training. The first few months were good. I was really high. I said to myself that it was what I was meant to do. Problems started to come up after a while. My surgeries started to have many complications. My mentors were perfectionists. Any minor detail that I would miss, I would be reprimanded. I know it's part of the training, but I was not handling it well. I was doing good in the general surgery training and suddenly I'm a no good surgeon in this new training. It all went upside down. I lost my touch. I don't know if I got lazy in reading my books or I just lost hope in reading because I did not seem to know the answer to the simplest question my consultants threw at me during our mini conferences. I was getting desperate and it went down into a vicious cycle. Each day I slowly slid down to the pessimistic path. I tried to stay afloat for 2.5 years, but I wasn't successful. I was drowning in depression. It was so hard to get out of bed in the morning, and all I saw in the world was despair. I blamed myself for transferring to this subspecialty and I blamed myself for not being good enough. I was angry at myself and I was angry with my mentors. I was anticipating that they would kick me out, and when that happens, how would I feed my family? My 2 kids are already going to start with preschool. Where would I get the money if I lose my job? I do not want to go back to general surgery because I don't want to operate anymore. I was stressed out, all enthusiasm was sucked out of me. In the middle of this crisis, I would sometimes go to my uncle's clinic, which was only a couple of blocks away, to have lunch with him. When he saw me, he immediately knew what I was going through. He advised me to listen to some of his audiobooks about positive thinking and self-motivation. He told me that there is a secret about living our lives and that happiness is a choice. I heard, but I did not listen. His advice just flew out of my other ear, maybe because I was too depressed to listen to anything. After lunch, I would go back to the hospital and lie down on the bed thinking about negative things. However, one afternoon, I suddenly had an epiphany. I told myself I cannot continue to punish myself like this, and in that instant I remembered the words, happiness is a choice. So I shouted the words in my mind, I choose happiness. The next day, I went back to my uncle's clinic with my flash drive and copied all his audiobooks and videos. Upon seeing my enthusiasm about all of this, he said, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. The first video that he advised me to see was The Secret, and that movie literally changed my life. I was kicked out from plastic surgery training in the middle of 2012. I cried, but it didn't really affect me that much anymore. I knew that there would be more work opportunities that would come up. I am Catholic, so I replaced the word universe with God because for me, they are synonymous. I did not have a clue what I would do after plastic surgery, but I just kept my faith that God would not abandon me. I followed the teachings of the secret and I started to give thanks for all the things around me. I started to notice the trees, the sun, the clouds, the flowers, how wonderful the creations of the Lord are. I started to eat well again. I picked up my life slowly. My cousin suggested that I apply as a doctor offshore, on an oil rig. I thought it was a great idea, the salary was great too. So every day I visualized that I was already working on the rig and thanked God for the job as if I already had it. After 1 year and 5 months, I finally got the job. I also had many job opportunities that came my way while waiting for my dream job. I was getting the money that I needed for my children's education, paying off my debts, and I even put some money in financial investments. My life turned around because I shifted my thoughts and feelings to what I really wanted instead of thinking about what I don't want. I visualized my perfect home, my perfect job, my perfect car, my perfect vacation, and my perfect relationships. Now, I continue to share my experience.